This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. A former vice mayor of Calbaga, Samar, was gunned down by a soldier listed as AWOL along a major highway in the province on Friday morning, the police reported. Miguel Abiga Jr., 54, a resident of Canticum village in Calbaga town, was biking in Timbangan village when Alan Malajuno, 43, a resident of Catbalagan city, shot him using a .45 caliber pistol. The bullet hit Abiga's back, killing him instantly, according to the police. The suspect was identified with the help of witnesses. After the shooting, the suspect on board a motorcycle drove to Catbalagan city, but the Calbaga police has already alerted nearby police stations. Hot pursuit operations led to the suspect's arrest in a checkpoint set up along the highway of Beto village in Paranas town less than an hour after the shooting. Recovered from the suspect was a .45 caliber pistol loaded with one bullet and inserted magazine. The number 4 man in the Philippine National Police is facing complaints of grave abuse and unjust vexation. The charges against Major General Arthur Bisna, chief of the directorial staff, were filed before the Quezon City Prosecutor's Office by Meritus Cabilan, a non-uniformed personnel assigned with the PNP Directorate for Controllership. A preliminary investigation on the complaints against Bisna was held yesterday, according to a subpoena signed by Senior Assistant City Prosecutor Victorino Badurjanier. No other details were available on the circumstances that led Cabilan to file complaints against Bisna. A copy of the subpoena showed the incident between the two occurred when Bisna was the director of the PNP Directorate for Human Resource and Doctrine Development. In April, Bisna was accused of hurling profanities at officers of the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group at Camp Crame in Quezon City. The CIDG National Capital Region Field Office has requested the PNP leadership to take appropriate action to address the incident involving Bisna, then DHRDD director, and the CIDG officers. According to a police report, an irate Bisna parked his vehicle in the CIDG NCR field unit compound and confronted the guard on duty, claiming the compound gate encroached on the pedestrian lane. Bisna then shouted at CIDG NCR Chief Colonel Randy Glenn Silvio, who had just arrived in his own vehicle. Silvio explained the gate's removal was scheduled within the week, but Bisna kept shouting. Before leaving in his vehicle, Bisna also berated a police officer assigned at the CIDG for wearing a bracelet. Bisna's outburst was witnessed by other CIDG police officers and civilian personnel. 4 personnel of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, BJMP, Region 6 assigned at the Iloilo District Jail in Barangay Nanga, Potatan Town were administratively charged over August's protest staged by over 100 persons deprived of liberty, PDLs. According to BJMP 6 spokesperson attorney Jairus Anthony Dogalio, included in the charges were Warden Jail Chief Inspector Noberto Misiano Jr., the Chief Security Officer and 2 other duty personnel. Dogalio said the charges included gross neglect of duty for the Chief Security and 2 duty personnel, which led to their failure to monitor the activity of the inmates, and the failure to supervise and exercise command responsibility on the part of the jail warden. There is a prima facie evidence of neglect on their part, said Dogalio. To attract public attention to their plight, the PDLs climbed to the roof of the jail's administrative building and staged a noise barrage. Among their complaints were, their meals were not enough and poorly prepared, items being sold in the commissary were too expensive, and the warden needed to shape up. A Zamboanga del Norte court has convicted a retired judge of murder for ordering the 2019 killing of a fellow judge right within the court's compound. In a judgment dated the 16th of September, Liloy, Zamboanga del Norte Regional Trial Court Branch 28 sentenced retired Judge Oscar Tomarong to reclusion perpetual or up to 40 years in prison without eligibility for parole for the death of Judge Ria Malacaya. He was also ordered to pay the heirs of the late judge more than 9.5 million pesos in civil indemnity and damages, including loss of earning capacity. Tomarong was the former presiding judge of the same court that convicted him while Lacaya presided over Sindangan, Zamboanga del Norte RTC Branch 11. In the 20th of March 19, the Supreme Court ordered the 2 judges to swap places to make way for a judicial audit. On the 9th of May, 2019, 2 hired killers shot dead Lacaya as he was about to board his vehicle after a hearing. The Zamboanga court found out that Tomarong, through 2 intermediaries, paid the 2 killers 200,000 pesos to kill Lacaya. The Philippine National Police seized a total of 990 kilograms of shabu worth P6.7 billion pesos in Tondo, Manila. Then they found the ID, belongings, and incriminating documents of an active member of the police force. Worse, the cop was an intelligence officer of the PNP's drug enforcement group, the police unit especially tasked with leading the country's anti-drug campaign. The stunning operation showed how deep illegal drug groups may have penetrated even the national police's most specialized units, posing a challenge to the new administration of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., which promised to continue and even improve the anti-drug campaign of his tough-talking predecessor, Rodrigo Duterte. In a press conference on Sunday afternoon, the 9th of October, the PNP-DEG's own chief, Brigadier General Narciso Domingo, narrated the shocking story which involved the cop under his own group, who was identified as Master Sergeant Rodolfo Mayo Jr. While searching the building, police found the belongings of a cop and incriminating documents that led them to suspect him as a co-conspirator in running the drug den. During our search, we found an ID of a policeman inside a drawer, then belongings of a policeman, said PNP-DEG Chief Narciso Domingo in English. He added that Mayo had other IDs bearing different names. The police then kicked off a manhunt, leading to the arrest of their colleague Master Sergeant Rodolfo Mayo Jr. The police are worried because Mayo could just be one of many cops involved in running the drug den, and he could just be a small fry among them. I would believe this is not just up to the level of Master Sergeant Mayo. We really have to have an intensive investigation, said PNP Chief General Rodolfo Azurin. During the press conference, a reporter pointed out that Mayo, being an intelligence officer of the DEG, held important information about the drug trade. In addition, being an intelligence officer gave Mayo the power to feed information to the PNP that affected its operations. Azurin said Mayo will face administrative cases, which could lead to his dismissal from service as police prepared criminal complaints against him and other suspects. Authorities here have arrested a retired soldier in an entrapment operation on arms smuggling in this southern port city, a top police official said Tuesday. Colonel Alexander Lorenzo, Zamboanga City Police Office Director, said suspect Carlito Tanguis, a 58-year-old retired Philippine Army personnel, was arrested around 11 p.m. Monday in Barangay Cabatangan here. Lorenzo said the entrapment operation was launched after it was reported that Tanguis, a native of Barangay Banbanan, Dapitan City, Zamboanga del Norte, was involved in the sale of unlicensed firearms. Seized from Tanguis were two .45 caliber pistols and 10 500 peso counterfeit bills as boodle money topped with one genuine 500 peso bill as marked money, among others. The suspect is currently detained at the ZCPO Station 7 to face charges for violation of Republic Act 105/91 of the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act. A public school principal was shot and killed early Wednesday by an unidentified gunman inside her house in Polongui Town in Albay. Major Maria Luisa Calubaquib, Bicol police spokesperson, identified the victim as Beverly Cabaltera, 53, principal of Piodaran National High School and wife of Police Major Stephen Cabaltera, chief of Santa Elena Police in Camarines Norte. Lieutenant Karen Formales, Albay police spokesperson, reported that Cabaltera's family members were awakened around 3 a.m. when they heard a gunshot and loud noise from her bedroom in their house at Napaville subdivision in Barangay Napo. Upon checking, they saw Cabaltera lying unconscious on the floor near the window with a bullet wound on her neck. The report said Cabaltera died while being taken to the ISIP General Hospital in the town center. The National Bureau of Investigation Central Visayas NBI-7 has filed charges against 11 officials of the Department of Public Works and Highways Central Visayas DPWH-7 and 2 other individuals on allegations that they falsified some documents to make it appear that some infrastructure projects in Cebu have been completed on time. The 13 respondents were accused of violating Republic Act 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act and the revised Penal Code for falsification of documents and falsification by private individuals. The NBI-7 on Tuesday, the 11th of October, filed the string of complaints before the Office of the Ombudsman for the Visayas after James Delosa, former district engineer of the DPWH 4th DEO, complained that his signatures in the disbursement vouchers for almost all of the infrastructure in the district were falsified. The NBI-7 said that the signatures were allegedly falsified to make it appear that certain infrastructure projects were completed when they in fact remained incomplete. Making the projects appear that they have been completed would allow the release of funds for the project and to save the contractor from paying penalties for the delayed or incomplete projects, the NBI7 said. The respondents denied the allegations against them when they were all subpoenaed and appeared before the NBI7 regional headquarters with their legal counsels. A Manila Police District lieutenant will be facing criminal charges for shooting a traffic enforcer in Barangay Veterans Village in Quezon City. In a statement, Quezon City Police District Director Brigadier General Nicholas Tor III announced the arrest of Lieutenant Felixberto Rapana, a member of the MPD Anti-Carnapping Unit, who shot dead Edgar Filero, a member of Quezon City Department of Public Order and Safety, on Thursday morning. Based on the report, Filero and witness Paul Timothy de los Reyes were on their way home from Pandacan, Manila aboard a motorcycle when it broke down along Roosevelt Avenue in Quezon City. Filero and de los Reyes pushed the motorcycle until they reached Munoz Market when the suspect suddenly appeared and shot the victim in the body. Despite sustaining a gunshot wound, Filero managed to drive the motorcycle and sought the help of the duty police officers along Epifanio de los Santos Avenue EDSA, corner Roosevelt Avenue, Quezon City. The police officers immediately responded, which resulted in the arrest of Rapana and recovery of a 9mm Glock G17 Gen 4, with serial number PNP 10253 loaded with 11 pieces of ammunition, 1 empty fired cartridge in its chamber, and 1 fired bullet. The ambulance of Barangay Veterans rushed the victim to Quezon City General Hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival at 3:54 am. A police officer in Dingres town in Ilocos Norte province died after he was physically assaulted and shot multiple times by an unidentified assailant on Thursday, authorities said. Police said they received a call at 2:40 am from a resident in the area who asked for help and reported the incident. The victim was identified as Police Staff Sergeant Jackson Raimundo, 36, a resident of Pateo Village in nearby Salsona town. He sustained multiple gunshot wounds. Responding authorities found him dead inside a vehicle at an irrigation canal in Cali Village. A dragnet operation was immediately launched to capture the assailants. The Ilocos Norte Provincial Police had formed a task force to determine the motive behind the killing and conduct an extensive investigation. A former policeman in Quezon Province was shot and killed Thursday in Tayabas City. The Quezon police reported that Kim Carl Olivado, 36, was drinking at around 1:45 am with his friends in Barangay San Isidro Zone 1 when an unidentified man with a 9mm pistol repeatedly shot him in different parts of his body. The assailant fled, leaving his target dead. The police are now investigating the incident to identify the gunman and establish the motive behind the killing. That's all for this week. I'll see you next week with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.